All right, it is time for another week of recruiting with our Kevin McPherson. And Kevin, again, despite all of the things that are going on right now in the world, Arkansas continuing to recruit and recruit strong. So let's talk about two guys who did virtual tour meetings as well as picked up an offer. You have Carter Witt and Alex Fudge, both of those guys, a class of 2021.
Yeah, Carter Witt, a 6'3" point guard out of Raleigh, North Carolina. Really like his game. Got multiple high major offers. He and his dad did basically a virtual meeting with the entire staff on Friday. Ended up picking up his Razorback offer, but a guy that coached him is a former Razorback, Stephen Wells, former Razorback guard that has coached him in spring and summer basketball, and really said this guy should be a 5-star recruit. Obviously, being a former Razorback, this could probably help Musselman if he stays in this young man's ear about playing at Arkansas. But a high-level player in Carter Witt. The same with Alex Fudge. Both of these guys are basically top 75 national guys when you talk 4-star. But Alex Fudge is a versatile, athletic, long 6'8", small forward wing out of the Jacksonville, Florida area. A guy that also had a virtual tour on, I believe his was on Tuesday. Ended up announcing his Arkansas offer on Thursday of last week. So two more big-time players as Arkansas rolls through recruiting, because there's only so much they can do. No in-person recruiting. Musselman and his staff have wisely used the virtual opportunities they've had, and they've done extensive work there.
And it's made an impact because a lot of people love what they're seeing on these virtual tours. And some of these guys have the Hogs in their top 10 as they narrow down their list of schools. 3 guys putting the Hogs in the top 10 this week. KJ Adams, a guy that's very talented, Langston Love, and Trey Patterson. Let's talk about those 3.
Well, the first 2 names you mentioned, Arkansas has been recruiting for a while. You look at KJ Adams, they've been really looking at him for over a year. He finally got an Arkansas offer in the last week or so. And then right after that, he released his top 10 schools. Arkansas made that list. 6'7", guy that's quick, strong. Reminds me a little bit of Corliss Williamson. I'm not going to put him up there on that as that level of player at the same stage, but has some similarities in his game. And of course, he's out of Westlake High School in Austin, Texas. So we start to really see Arkansas trying to get into that part of the footprint, border states in recruiting. They've really focused a lot on Texas lately. KJ Adams is the latest. Langston Love, who's from Houston, speaking of Texas, played with Moses Moody at Montverde Academy last year, the number 1 team in the country that went undefeated. Arkansas has been looking at him for over a year. He's recently done 2 virtual tours. He actually released a final 11. He didn't do a final 10. He did like a top 11. Arkansas made that list. And then the last name that you mentioned, Trey Patterson, Arkansas recently did a virtual tour with him, extended an offer. ESPN rates him number 31 in the country, a high-level 4-star. So he, on Saturday, put out his top 10. Arkansas made that as well. You go back to Langston Love, I failed to mention, he's ranked 25th in the country in the composite rankings. Right now, they're saying he's a 4-star. If he stays in that top 25, that will translate to 5-star status. So you look at Musselman circling the wagons with all the work he and his staff have been doing in recruiting, making all these players casting a wide net, putting them front and center, and we're seeing that pay off with Arkansas making these lists. They're not going to get all these players, obviously, but it helps the marketing of the program because these lists are put out by all the national recruiting gurus. Other players see them, younger players see them, and that's branding that Arkansas it's very valuable to the Arkansas Razorback program as Musselman moves into year 2.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more that just the exposure, the attention, and these big names liking Arkansas and what they have to offer is only going to help them down the road as Musselman continues to build this program. Now let's talk about a guy who hasn't even stepped on the court yet for Arkansas and Moses Moody, but already projected to be a lottery pick in 2021 in the NBA draft. What is it about Moses Moody that these NBA teams love?
Well, first of all, that report came out on Friday by Jonathan Wasserman, who is the lead NBA scout draft writer for BleacherReport.com. He has Moody projected to go number 11 overall in the 2021 draft, which would put him as a one and done. You look at ESPN's mock draft for 2021. You look at another one, DraftSite.com. Both of those have Moses Moody being selected in the 20s, which again is first round projection. So there's more than one out there that see him as a one and done. And I think this would be big for Musselman. He's going to enter his 6th year as a head coach of college basketball. But 4 of those years were at Nevada, a mid-major. He's not had a one and done, but look at the players he's gotten ready for the next level. The Martin twins, Cody and Caleb, both exceeded expectations as rookies last year in the NBA and are thought to now be able to forge long-term careers in the league. You look at Mason Jones and what he did in just 1 year under Musselman, had an offensive season for the ages, co-SEC player of the year. Now he's starting to move up some draft boards and enter some mock drafts for the second round. And then Isaiah Joe, we'll see what he decides to do. But another guy that, when barring the injury that affected him for 11 games, 5 played hurt, 6 played that he did not play in. He still had a strong season and is a guy that, if he stays in the draft, considered probably an early to mid second round safe pick. So you're talking about now a track record of Musselman with players starting to get them ready for the next level. And Moses Moody could be that first one and done. Again, we just talked about recruiting and how important that is to brand the program. And something like this, as he builds some momentum, could give Arkansas an opportunity not only to build through the transfer portal, as we see Musselman do, but to continue to raise the stakes on high-level players that see Arkansas as a stepping stone from freshman season to NBA possibly.
Well, the good news is in the near future, we'll be able to see Moses Moody play in a Razorback uniform sooner rather than later. And it looks like Arkansas now allowing students to come back on June 8th. That vote came down on Friday by the SEC, allowing them to come back for voluntary workouts. What does that mean for the guys already on campus who have been a part of this team last year, as the new kids who want to maybe come up and do some voluntary workouts as well?
Well, it's always been an unspoken rule, right, that voluntary workouts are really kind of voluntary because if you miss them, you get behind. This is a different era right now. Coaches and programs and athletic directors have got to figure out a way to work through this problem. The fact that the doors are open back up, this is an SEC policy that came down. That's a week from Monday that these players can go in for voluntary workouts. So it'll be interesting to see how the Razorbacks take advantage of that. I can promise you, Eric Musselman and his staff are going to figure out ways, creative ways, to make this work and get the most out of it to keep their players safe, but also give them opportunities to improve. And you start talking about the Fantastic Fours, what I always call them, this 2020 class, ranked top 5 in the country. Moses Moody, we just talked about him, Devontae Davis, Jalen Williams, and we don't want to leave out KK Robinson. Mm-hmm. These guys are all in Arkansas right now. This is where they're from. So Fayetteville's not far away. Let's see how they coordinate with those guys, if they're able to get those guys up for some of these voluntary workouts. And then the holdovers from last season, we'll see how all of this integrates and meshes. But I think it's a big move for Arkansas and other teams in the SEC as things try to get going again for sports.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big move for all sports across the board to try to see if fall sports will happen and happen on time. Kevin McPherson, we always appreciate all of the knowledge. Can't wait to see what you bring to the table next week, and we will catch up with you then. We appreciate the time.
Thank you, Alyssa. Good to be with you.